contain, that I can't control. I want more of you, God. I want more of you, God. Set a fire down in my soul that I can't contain, that I can't control. I want more of you, God. I want more of you, God. Set a fire down in my soul that I can't contain, that I can't control. I want more of you, God. I want more of you, God. Set a fire down in my soul that I can't contain, that I can't control. I want more of you, God. I want more of you. Holy Spirit, you are welcome. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence, Lord. Your presence. Set a fire down in my soul that I can't contain, that I can't control. I want more of you, God. I want more of you, God. Set a fire down in my soul that I can't contain, that I can't control. I want more of you, God. I want more of you, Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence, Lord. Holy Spirit, you are welcome. Hello, everybody. Hello. Today is March 31st, 2026. I hope you were enjoying some music. I thought I would share. I ran upon this song randomly, and it's from Jasmine Brady. It's the song titled Set a Fire / Holy Spirit. So it came into my life at a TikTok video I was making. So I thought I would share it today. Today is, I'm a little nervous and excited, but today is the launch of our new season 4. I'm so excited. We finished 3 seasons, and now I am into season 4 with this new path of sharing some reflection and discussion on scriptures in a more modern way. So to give you some history, again, my name is Cheyenne Jenvey. I am the host of Dragonfly Discussions. We had season 1, which was in 2024. Then we had season 2, and then 3, which was a mixture of reading from my book, Dragonflies and Demons, chapter by chapter, going deeper into the book, because I left out a lot of really detail. That book could have been 1,000 pages long, or even, it just would have never ended if I would have included it all. So I left out a lot of it on purpose to have this opportunity to talk with you further. So check out my previous podcasts. They're all chapter reads, and you can just obviously see what they are. And then that led us into season 3. And so I just figured we're starting something new. I know it's not the new year, but it is a new season for my podcast. So this is season 4. And I am excited about it. I'm going to read to you a couple of safe parameters, and then I'm going to read to you the whole kind of bio as to why I'm doing this and set it up a little bit for you to maybe understand. So first, in the comment section, welcome to my podcast, Dragonfly Discussions. You are welcome to enter your name and location you are from. I am thrilled you are listening and hope you enjoy this session together. A safe space reminder, I kind of changed it up a little bit from my last. Please use your own safe space parameters amongst the sessions together, which may arouse emotions or memories of your own. You're welcome to excuse yourself or stay. So you're your own boss. I'm not your boss. So that's there for you. And then I'm going to always put in the comments the scriptures that we're going to discuss. It's not going to always be in the description of my podcast because that's just a little too much for me. But I will always put them in the comment section. So tonight I pulled out of the jar. That's what this is really, is pulling out these scriptures from a lady that I got as part of the Holiday Gift Bag Project that serves 2,500 women in Chowchilla Prison. She specifically put aside these little index cards, and I took them out of the little box and just threw them in this jar. And so I'll randomly pick out a couple of scriptures and talk about them. So tonight's scriptures I pulled out on Sundays. I'm going to pull them out on Sundays because I figure that's kind of like my spiritual day, honestly. It's my day of kind of reflecting, rejuvenating, resting, maybe going into my hobbies, doing stuff that I enjoy, that bring me joy. So my Sundays are kind of, not stressful, not busy, not going anywhere. I used to go to church, but now I'm forming my own church within myself and my own spirituality. So I figured these scriptures will be pulled on Sundays and it'll give me a moment to have some time reflecting spiritually. So the scriptures that I pulled are these cute little, they're really cute. Like, I don't know if you can, no, you can't really see it. Anyways, this time today we have Proverbs, and it's not always the same. I could be pulling from Jeremiah and Revelations. I could be pulling from Genesis and Mark. So it says today's scriptures of the week. So you can take this with you throughout the week and maybe reflect on it your own deeper. Is diligence, which is Proverbs 22:29. This is it's really tiny. So this is the little card and it's on diligence. So we're going to talk about diligence. And then Proverbs 22:29. Gosh, I am messing up. Okay. The two scriptures of the week. We got diligence, Proverbs 22:29, and hard work, Proverbs 27:18. So I thought it was very interesting that the two kind of are connected to each other, diligence and hard work. But they have a little bit of different meaning, but they are kind of tied together. And it was interesting. I've talked to a few people already this week, and and after pulling these cards, and it seemed to be brought up. So there's like confirmation that these cards were meant to be pulled. So let me give you some little background first off. My kitty is just wanting my attention. Your podcast host, Cheyenne Jenvey, aka the Dragonfly, that's my nickname, will share her reflection and wisdom on Ovejitas, or maybe it's Ovejitas, maybe that's the Spanish way to say it. Ovejitas, and that's the maker of these Ovejitas. If you want to look them up, Ovejitas, they're really cute. Scripture cards. 2 cards will be randomly picked from a jar. The jar, I know you can't see it on Spotify and Apple, but imagine a glass jar with a metal tin lid. and it fits like the whole palm of your hand. It's quite round. So it's filled with tiny scriptures, and let's see, 2 cards. Okay, yeah, 2 cards will be picked from this jar of tiny scriptures and then shared with you. These cards came as a gift from a beautiful Japanese woman named Hiromi in 2025. This is not pushing any kind of religion or spirituality, but merely sharing another perspective. So no religion push here at all. It's spiritual, open, completely open. Like wide open. There's no rules, there's no constraints here. This is not pushing any kind of religion or spirituality for that matter. It's not pushing anything. I just find it really something that sparked my interest as to what next to do with my podcast. And I thought, why not pull these cards out and talk about them? And you'll learn more as to why. Let's see. These episodes are not only aimed at Christians, but also atheists, agnostics, deists, pantheists, and all sorts of folks. All relationships with the Bible are welcome and respected. I hope to provide enlightenment, provide non-religious, life-meaning perspectives, and share my personal reflections and wisdom. My religious background comes from 18 years being raised Catholic. So most of my childhood, my life, everything, all the way leading up into college, I was a forced Catholic. When I graduated high school, I became agnostic after the tragic death of a high school student that changed how I viewed God. And it did. You could read about that in my book. Through a long struggle with a drug addiction, I was exposed to other philosophies of God by which the AA/NA community views as a higher power, right? We've all heard of the higher power term. I then entered into a long-term Christian program called New Life for Girls. New Life for Girls, it's no longer here in Fresno, unfortunately, but the main place is in Dover, Pennsylvania. It's a beautiful Christian rehab, long-term, 2 years. I spent 2 years there. But they have intros a lot on the East Coast, one in Chicago. Look them up if you're interested and need help. They're a great program. If you're ready, you got to be ready though. Let's see, called New Life for Girls, in which I studied the Bible for 2 years. So in this program, New Life for Girls, you're not able to listen to secular music. You're not able to read any secular books, and that means of the world. It's all Christian music, all the Bible, and King James. You have to, oh my gosh, let me get it real quick. I have kept this because part of finishing the program is memorizing scriptures. And we had to memorize scriptures 100 words long. And this is my original little flip book that I wrote scriptures on. So in here, this is the whole entire Bible and all the books, because we had to know the books in order, like Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, and then it goes into Joshua, Judges. So we had to verbally repeat that. We had to memorize scriptures. I think the longest one in here is about 102 words long. And you had to write it out in King James scripture. So I would walk around the campus, because it was a beautiful campus in Dover, Pennsylvania. And I wanted to finish this program, or else I was going to prison for 5 years for my drug addiction. And so this is what really inspired me, was reading the Bible for 2 years. I had never had a relationship with the Bible, and I love books. Obviously, I wrote a book. I love books, and I was like, why not? So this one's 90. This one's 90 words, and that is January 18th, 2006. And it is Philippians 2, chapter 2, verses 5 through 9. And this is a class that Bernice was the lead at that time. I'll read it real quick. Why not? Let this mind. Ooh, this is a good one. Oh my God, this is a good one. Okay, so it's Philippians 2, 5, 9. Let this mind be in you, which is also in Christ Jesus. And now, my whole belief in Jesus is he was a cool dude. He was brought to us as a flesh and being. He was made of God, right? So I really love Jesus, but I'm not like in love with him. I don't worship him. I respect him. He was just a really cool social justice dude. But, okay. Jesus was brought to us as an example for us to follow. Was also in Christ Jesus, who being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God, but made himself of no reputation and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men, and being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. Wherefore God also hath highly exalted him and given him a name which is above every name, which is God. That's kind of cool. So let me continue. This isn't my show. Okay, so where I studied the Bible. While at this program, I gained an entire new spiritual relationship with God. One that relied solely on nature and connecting with the universe, one that is earth, nature centered. So what I mean by that is, again, I'm not praying to Jesus. My tagline, if you see my email or whatever, or I'll sign things, it's live vertically, because I believe in going straight to God. There's no reason to go to Jesus or any person, place, thing that's not going to give you satisfaction. You got to live vertically. So that's my tagline. I found it in a book while in this program. Let's see. When I graduated from New Life for Girls, I realized that the Christian faith was not for me, as I was more spiritual than religious. I then found the Unitarian Universalist faith, by which expanded this connection to God through nature and helped me build my personal faith, which I stand upon still today. Currently, I do not claim any type of religious faith, but claim that my spirituality is based upon nature, the universe, and God. And of course, within that brings people and the connection. But first, that's my foundation, right? It's not necessarily people or things, because those things will disappear. But God, the universe, and nature, those are constant. Those are solids. And I'm really grateful for finding you, even though I know I have a post out there or a episode out there about what happened, but I needed to find my way back to spirituality. And I found spirituality in New Life for Girls, and I was losing that a little bit, and you brought that back. And so I feel strong enough to be okay without the UU church. I really do feel I'm okay. And now I'm doing this, which is bringing in more spirituality and connection and making God happy, I'm sure. So I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. And this makes me really happy. So I feel like the Bible, I look at the Bible as like it's just another book. It's just another really great book. The Bible is a terrific tool for guidance. Some see the Bible as an acronym. The B for basic, I instructions, B before, L leaving earth. So Bible, basic instructions before leaving earth. I learned that way long time ago and I never forgot it, but it's really kind of cool. It's really true. The Bible holds a library of life lessons and wisdom for guidance. It really does. It's really this awesome book of wisdom and guidance. And that's what I want to elaborate on, is just that. I don't want to get into the characters. I don't want to get into any of the story. I just want to talk about the wisdom and the guidance that the Bible gives us. Plain and simple. Just like my book gives also wisdom and guidance. There's many books I've read that have given me wisdom and guidance. The Bible should not be looked at any differently, and it shouldn't be worshipped any differently, and it shouldn't be held up in this way. I mean, I'd love my book to be held up in such a way as the Bible, but like I saw through all of that. Like, that's what happened in my rehab, was I saw through all of that, and I just honed in. Like, God just showed me the honing in part, the truth, like the good stuff, and don't get sidetracked by all the minutia that society puts about the Bible. The Bible was written, and this is part of my reason too. The Bible was written by man and inspired by God. So it was written by a man just like you and I. It was written by person, right? It's all these collaborated stories that somebody wrote and inspired by God. So it's not truly written by God, but I can believe that these people were inspired enough, just like I'm inspired to do this. They were inspired to probably write, and document everything that they were experiencing, which I'm grateful. It's led a lot of us to some better paths. The four Gospels, like for instance, the four Gospels, they tell the same story about their experience with Jesus, right? So we've got the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. All had different interpretations of their relationship with Jesus. All four of them are different, very, very different. So that should show you too that we all are allowed to have our personal interpretation of this book. It's okay. And our relationship with Jesus, a cool social justice dude. Like, if he was here with us, like, he'd be sitting down talking about probably who in office, and he would probably be encouraging love, of course, but he would be a righteous person. He would be out there with the protesters, even though I'm not supportive right now because of my own health. It makes me angry when I focus on that guy, the one in office. But Jesus would probably be right there, raising the signs and throwing up the tables and making a ruckus over this man that's turning everything upside down. So also too, in another way, is the astrological way. There is a whole other paradoxical way of looking at the Bible with the constellations and our universe and our stars. And so I'm along that pathway of also part of my faith. My faith is also in science of astronomy and astrology and the law of attraction. So the Bible can also be viewed in astrological ways, such as the four Gospels being our four seasons, the 12 disciples as the 12 astrological signs. Virgo, I'm a Virgo, Taurus, Leo, Cancer, all that stuff. The Son of God, S-O-N of God, as the S-U-N of our universe. So there's the Son of God and the Son of our universe, right? Our sun that we look forward to every day that rises. We all have our individual relationships with the Bible, with Jesus, with God, with the universe, and with each other. May it be so, and may you enjoy these episodes. So I took a little bit more time there because I just felt like it was my first time with this season. I'm hoping people will understand and read the description of this new season. But that's what this season is about. And also, too, for the audio and Spotify listeners, you don't have the visuals per se unless you go to my Facebook page. which you can look me up by Cheyenne Jenvey, parentheses, live vertically, and then you can find me. So that's what this new season is about, and I'm really excited. Let me take a drink real quick. So, being that these two are proverbs, I figured I would define what a proverb is to you all in case you may not know. Basically, in layman's term, a proverb is a short statement of common sense and wisdom. Really, Proverbs is just a bunch of short statements that are poignant. They get to the target of what you need to do, and it's hopefully it's common sense. I like that term. Common sense ain't no common anymore. But it's really wisdom. If you listen to it and if you really ponder on it and reflect, you can get some real great wisdom from Proverbs. So I'm going to read, let's see, this is diligence. We're going to start with diligence and then we'll work to the hard work. So this is diligence, Proverbs 22, chapter 22, verse 29. It says, "Do you see a man skilled in his work? He will serve before kings. He will not serve before obscure men." So, in this verse, so the Proverbs, Solomon, King Solomon is writing all of these. So he commends, this is what I looked up and what I studied, and then I'm going to reflect. So Solomon commends skillful work in his final verse of Proverbs chapter 22. I was going to do a year. 22. The word skillful in Hebrew means timely or prompt. Timely or prompt. The general idea is when a worker is diligent and does excellent work, is more likely to attract success than those who are irresponsible. So that's like the if you look on like websites, they'll give you like a generic translation. So that's the translation. So that's what Solomon obviously had a bunch of people working for him. He was a king, and so he knew which had skill and which were timely and which were responsible. So like in today, we have job evaluations, and sometimes a worker can be promoted, given a raise, or given both. So like if you're on time, UPS, I had a job at UPS where our rule was early is on time is late. So that means if your shift starts at 8 a.m., you are like there at 10 minutes before. So you're 10 minutes early, which means you're on time. If you're there at 8 or beyond, then you're late. My job, however, currently wants us to literally clock in at 8 a.m. So I'm not late. But I think that's a good rule to have always, is to plan your route. Make sure that you give yourself enough time to be there early. It's better off to be there early and sitting in your car for a little bit than you be racing through traffic, running late, and then your boss is like, you're late. And then you do it again. You're late. And pretty soon, you're fired. I hate to use that term, but because of our administration, but you can be fired. Not a lot of jobs will put up with poor attendance and showing up on time. So that's part of the timely and prompt, right? So I know sometimes I've been late to work. Sometimes I've overslept. But I usually perform. My performance has always outweighed my attendance issues. But you can't be like abusive with your attendance. But if you perform at your job and you're diligent at trying and you make an effort to not be late for like 6 months or whatever, and you work hard at it and you're successful in all these other areas, I'm sure your job will work with you, but it's really, really important to be on time. But also diligence can be looked at as being steadfast in your goals, being diligent at waking up on time. If you don't have a schedule, maybe someday I'll be retired, and I hope that I keep a schedule of waking up early and not sleeping all day or whatever, but being productive. I want to be diligent at, my goals, making sure that my book dreams, don't go aside. I set my own, list of things I got to do, and I'm diligent at accomplishing them in reasonable time. I have seen also too, by overperforming and going above and beyond in my job, that I've been granted raises, or I've been granted promotions, or I've been given positions that I never would have been granted had I not had that experience. So each experience at your job builds like your resume. It builds like your profile about what you can do at work and all your valuable assets. So diligence is important. It's a very good word. It's a very good work habit to have, and not just work. I think it's more put into work in my perspective, but just in life, just being diligent, getting up every Sunday to go to church, being diligent to take your meds, take your vitamins, being diligent to maybe tend to the garden, whatever it could be, But as long as you're making progress, and you're showing up, I think God looks at that and kind of rewards us for our good efforts, our good energy, our good focus towards, things. Okay. So we are now halfway through the hour. I usually only keep you guys hostage for an hour. So we just got done with diligence and hard work. Hard work is a good one. And they have a relationship with each other, because diligence, it's hard work to stay diligent at things, to stay diligent at your goals and not lose sight, or not get distracted, or not lose hope, or not get despaired, or, because of rejection, or it didn't work out the way you wanted, but to keep forging ahead. That's diligence. And that takes hard work. So it was ironic that the two were pulled and they have a relationship to each other. So also Proverbs, we got chapter 27, verse 18. And a lot of people may not understand the meaning and symbolism behind some of these scriptures, but there is a lot of using things to have like a different meaning. He who tends a fig tree will eat its fruit. That's what I mean. And he who looks after his master will be honored. Again. So he who tends a fig tree will eat its fruit, and he who looks after his master will be honored. So the history of this is Solomon, again, because he wrote Proverbs, notes that diligence and hard work usually pay off by seeing unexpected rewards for these efforts. Any righteous effort to work hard for the right things will ultimately be rewarded by God. Success takes constant time and effort. Figs were an important source of food back then, so figs were very important back in the times of Jesus. And the term master could mean like a boss, or it could mean yourself. I mean, master, not to be egotistical of calling yourself master, but we are our own masters of ourselves, ideally, and our thoughts. And so it's not an ego thing. It's just, being aware that we are in control. It's nobody else's responsibility. It's nobody else's fault. It's our job. This is my responsibility. I'm not responsible for anything else. This is all I'm responsible for. But also too, like the fig tree, obviously, if you take care of anything that produces fruit or even flowers, like I take care of my cactuses. I'm better with succulents. I'm not very good with plants. I have a few out there that are thriving by the grace of God, knock on wood. But they are blooming. They are staying alive. One, my aloe has been with me for 17, 20, 18 years. I mean, so some of these plants out there have been with me for a long time because I take care of them. I feed them. I talk to them. I love them. And so he who tends to a fig tree can mean all kinds of plants. Will eat, will enjoy the satisfaction of watching them flower and bloom and grow and sprout. So, and then he who looks after his master will be honored. Now, that again could be yourself. God will honor how you take care of yourself, how you take care of your house, how you take care of your job, how you take care of your car, how you take care of your kids, your animals, your spending. God looks at all of that. I believe God looks at all of that in ways as a master and says, is this person responsible to handle, and how well do they appreciate it? And if they can do the basics, then they can be granted more. So I'm a really big believer in that, but also too, like a master could be like, not in any kind of controlling master, but just like your parents per se. Say you have elderly parents and you're fortunate to take care of them or be around when they're getting old. If you take care of them, in the right way that they should be taken care of with love and care, then I think God will see that and bless you. Maybe a cycle will come through when you need it. And you might be blessed and taken care of, someday by somebody or somehow. So, and then also respecting your boss. I've had some really hard bosses and never have I acted truly inappropriate with them. I have held my tongue. I have been professional in how I express myself, that, hey, this isn't working out with a coworker, or I see this and I'm concerned, or, whatever the case may be. I've never acted cray. I've never gone 150 on someone. I have always, like, you leave that shit at home. You leave that person at home. The minute you walk into the door of your work environment, you put on that work environment face and you act professional. You give 100% at your job. You give 100% customer service. I don't care if they're cussing at you. I get rude customers often at my job, and I just am like, it is what it is. And never lose your cool. That is the one for sure way you're going to get fired. But that just shows yourself that you're not capable of handling any kind of conflict. You're going to have people who are not going to agree with what you say. You're going to have people who, you're just going to have conflict. You're going to have adversity. That's just life. So when you go into work, man, you put on that professional hat and you just bite your tongue. And if you need to take a breather after it's over, that person's gone, then take a breather, message your boss, say, hey, I need like 5 minutes to just chill for a minute. to decompress because they kind of rattled my nerves. And I've had customers that like literally I work from home, but I have calls that come in from the state, from families, and they rattle me just through the headset. And it's just the being spoken to, and just, the disrespect, honestly, the disrespect. People really don't have a lot of respect, but you better just leave that anger, leave those issues, leave that home life, leave your everything at home. Your relationships, all your complaining issues. You do not connect the two. You keep work professional. I don't know. I've just always kept it clean. I've never dated in the workplace. Well, I shouldn't say never. Once. But I do not support dating where you work. No. Work is kind of like a way to escape from, maybe if you are in a relationship at home, work is like where you can escape almost away and get away from the guy or girl or whatever your partner is. But to go to work and see them all day and then go home and see them all day, oh my God, shoot me in the head. I just never. And I did do it once, and he was a younger guy, and I knew not to do it. And it turned out bad news because he ended up cheating on me anyway. So wasn't good. And he ended up quitting the job, and my dad at the restaurant. And so my dad had to get another employee, and I'm just like, great. So it never works out. It really never works out. So like the rewards. So if you do a good job, if you work hard, at your job, you can get rewards such as being promoted. Like I've experienced, and even from the universe too, like God may see that you're capable of handling such jobs and give you that position and open the door for you, right? So like upon my rehab, I'm a 10-year drug addict, just off the cuff of rehab, coming home. And I get a job being an animal control officer. An animal control officer for the Visalia Valley Oaks SPCA. And I had studied, I got my badge, I went through the PCA 32 laws of arrest, basic laws of arrest, and I earned my badge. So I went from a drug addict who was a convicted felon, and I made it as an animal control officer, the very first job, my dream that was happening, God made it happen. Like, hello. That was really, really amazing. And I had a garage door job that I worked at part-time. Actually, no, it was it was full-time. It was all day. But I mean, I was working towards this dream, and I became an animal control officer. So that just shows the miracle of what God can do in your life. And then from there, I had other jobs. But at the time when I got my UPS job, I was working 2 jobs. I was working at the gym, GB3, and I was working at, I think, the garage door company. But I got an opportunity to work at UPS part-time that equaled 2 jobs because the pay was amazing. And so I worked as human resources, part-time human resources for the entire Central Valley. Hello! Another big time job. Like that was just, boom. I remember sitting, it was California Pizza Kitchen with my stepmom, and I got the call from Don Ritter, and he was the HR guy at the time. And I'm like, Don, hi. He's like, you passed the test. You passed everything. How would you like to be my assistant in human resources? And I'm like, hell yeah. UPS, a world-class billion-dollar company, HR, the Central Valley, which was Fresno, Visalia, and Bakersfield. So huge territory. Making, like, I think I started out at like $17 an hour, where back then minimum wage was like, I don't know, it might have been like 12 or 10. So I was huge jumping into another pay bracket. So that lasted for 7 years, 2011 to 2019 as part-time. And I resigned because Dawn retired and I got a nasty boss, and she was a micromanager and just ugly. HR was turning into something I didn't want to be a part of anymore. It was compromising my principles and who I was, because she was a nasty, sneaky one. And so I moved on. But then I got and landed this job that I have now, working for the state of California, helping families feed their children during the summer months when they're not getting free lunches. Because here in California, we have the National School Lunch Program, NSLP, where 99% of the schools are enrolled in this NSLP program, which means the parents, if they qualify, they got to meet, standards and applications required. And based on the application, then if approved, their child gets $120 every summer, June, July, August. It's $40 for June, $40 for July, and $40 for August, 40, 80, 120. But you get it all in one lump sum. And so I got hired with the foundation. It's the Foundation for California Community Colleges, which we are funded through the Department of Agriculture. By the grace of God, let the Department of Agriculture stay and remain. I can't see it not. It is a huge, but we have the Hitler in office right now. But I'm not even going to speak on that because it is going to be around. And so we work under the USDA. And then California is really strong in our, what is it? I think it's still the FDA. It's just the branch under California branch. And then we get funded that way. So I have a job. I've been hired since 2022, and I have an extension all the way till 2028. And they say it could last for a long time. So by the grace of God, knock on wood, it stays around, because we help 4.2 million children in California, and it's increasing. So, also too, when I was looking this up, we have about 13 minutes. It says any righteous effort to work hard for the right things will ultimately be rewarded by God. So I've always felt like there was this overseeing something that was watching me and observing my outwardly actions and my inner heart, like my heart, right? And I always knew when I did bad things, especially in my addiction. I always knew everything I was doing wrong was wrong. I always felt bad about it. Yes, I just ignored it because I had to fill my addiction. But in my heart of hearts, I felt bad about every single bad thing that I've done. I've always had a deep conscience. I've always known right and wrong. Even as a little girl, I knew what was going on around me was wrong with my birth mom. I can tell when somebody's bad, or an animal's kind of not the right spirit, or somebody is not the right spirit. I've always been able to tune into that. So I can tell, right and wrong. And I believe that I, asked for forgiveness, and I worked through apologizing to God for all my mistakes. And so it's almost like he wiped the slate clean. That's kind of like how people look at baptism, right? Baptism, they say God just wipes the slate clean and you just start all over, and that he loves you no matter what. And, it doesn't matter. But I think it kind of does matter. You can't keep making the same mistakes, hurting people. Like, you can't keep killing. I mean, that's obviously not going to be approved by God. You can't keep lying. You can't keep stealing. Like the 10 Commandments in ways. Those are some basics, just the 10 Commandments. But I think God still gives you a lot of grace. He gives us a lot of grace to get it right someday. And that's why I try to keep my street clean. I mean, when I got sober in my last rehab, lying completely, God removed that from my lips. Like, he took that out. I was the best liar. I was the best con artist. Oh my God, I got away with so much because I didn't look like a drug addict. I was all, beautiful, whatever it was, but I still had probably zits and holes in my face and tracks on my arms. But I presented myself, and I sold myself to get money and whatever I needed to do. But I was not your typical con artist. But I was good. I was really good, and I was not proud of it. So I'm really glad that God cleaned that up, because I can't lie for shit. And I'm so glad I can't lie for shit, because I would rather be on this side, the better side, keeping my street clean and doing right by God and making him happy and making my dad happy, because I lost my father right after rehab. And I also feel like he's watching me. You better not be watching me in the bathroom, the shower, doing my thing, in the bed. No. But the rest, yes, please be in my life. But so, yeah, I really have a big conscience to God in doing the right thing. And God, not God. Well, God may he puts you in tempting moments. I think God does put us in tempting moments to test, our conscience, our heart. So I think that God has seen my diligence, my hard work, and he's blessed me with all of these opportunities along my path. He has opened up so many doors that I never, I was just given a vision of who I might become when I was last arrested in jail. I mean, I was laying there in the jail cell, and I was facing 5 years in prison, and I'm like praying, please don't send me to prison. Please let me go into this rehab. And then I started getting visions of who I would be. And literally, God has been there the whole entire freaking time. I owe everything to who I am today for what God has done for me. And he's taught me things about the law of attraction. I'm really big into energy. This universe, this core of our universe, our earth is all magnetic and full of energy. And we as human beings have that same kind of energetic, kind of like when you get shocked randomly from things, or at the gas station or whatever, from people. That's because we have energy. We have literally electricity in us, just like the universe has electricity. It's magnetic. And so when you're on the wavelength of positivity and gratitude is a huge one. Or if you get sidetracked with depression, or I had suicidal thoughts not too long ago. I admit it. I was going through a bad time. But I rode the wave, and then I didn't give too much time to that thought, and I turned it around to gratitude and everything, and it just changed. So you can change the frequency of your brain. You literally have the control. And I'm getting sidetracked, but that's what happens here. That's the great thing about here. But literally, read The Secret. Read the book The Secret. If you want to read another great book other than mine, read The Secret. It will blow your mind. Blow your mind. So, I feel that, I've worked hard. I've shown him that I'm capable of success, and he's given me little bits of success. And I hope for more, of course, but my book has been successful. So far, my podcast has been successful. I have some speaking engagements that I'm really excited about. This coming July, I will be a keynote speaker in front of there's like 60 plus of us speakers, but it's going to be like global scale exposure. So I could be talking to millions of people. And I'm going to be doing it remote from my own home, from the comfort. I'm going to put up a backdrop and speak for 25 minutes. And this is for the IDIAS Global Women's Conference, July 20th through like the 23rd. It's in New York. So you keep putting in the hard work. You keep being diligent at your dreams. You never give up. Take some breaks. Listen to yourself. Rest. Take care. You have to take care of yourself. Don't get sidetracked. Like the enemy will try to come in and throw you off your path. Oh my God, the adversity that will come when you're on the right path. When you're on the right path and you get all of these obstacles, you know you're on the right path. It's because all this shit is coming your way and you're like, what the hell? It should be easy. This should be much easier. Why is this such a struggle? But it's because you're on the right path. So that is the conclusion of tonight's episode. It's about 7:56. That was fun. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. We will resume to do this every Tuesday, again, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We got the jar full of all of these cards. It's just amazing. All of these cards that are stuffed in there. But this will last a while and it should be fun, I hope. And I hope you had fun. So catch us next Tuesday, April 7th at 7 p.m. here, Dragonfly Discussions on YouTube. Or catch us on Apple and Spotify. Within about 24 hours, I'll have that uploaded for you. Good night, everybody. See you next week.